Guys and gals, milfs and dilfs, welcome to the Tark Talks PC Chop Shop. Today I'm going to show you how to get more out of your computer by deleting the System 32. After that, I'm going to show you how to unlock the full potential of your processor by pulling it out of the motherboard with your bare hands while it's still on. The best part of a job like this is that it's easy and safe. Safe enough that I'd say even a kid could do it. You know what? If you have a child, you should probably get them to do it. Their small hands are going to be way better for getting in there and reaching that processor than your big old grimy adult hands are. But before I show you that, I want you to hit that like button, because hitting that dislike button ain't going to do anything for you. I also want you to leave a comment and let me know how I helped you out today. If you're just going to be critical or say something rude or frankly stupid, I'm probably just going to delete the comment, because I'm all about fostering a nice, warm, welcoming community around here. And with that, let's get into it. Of course, to start, we have to open the PC up. So to really get into here, you're gonna have to use a little bit of muscle. I don't think this is working.
Surely, YouTube, you see the problem. For those who didn't hear about it, you've likely already noticed the change. Pootube is ditching the downvote.
If you're like me, you were surprised by that.
Though you can still hit the button and creators can still go see them, they are, by all natural means, hidden from viewers.
Yeah.
On certain browsers, you can install an extension that'll allow you to continue seeing them. But if YouTube chases this idea any further, it's probably only a matter of time before those no longer work as well. Their public reasoning for why they done this was to curb dislike bombing and help improve the accessibility of the platform and the mental health of its creators.
Apparently, groups of viewers are targeting a video's dislike button to drive up the count, turning it into something like a game with a visible scoreboard.
And while I get that, and I won't even say that they're completely wrong in that approach, as I'm sure both of those things have been an issue here and there is an ongoing conspiracy that this is actually a measure to help protect corporations that receive massive sales-impacting backlash by the way of the dislike. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that there's some truth to that idea, but at this point, it's just conjecture and rumor, so I'm not going to be exploring it any further. In the example I laid out earlier, it should be very clear where the problems lie. It's not removing dislikes on its own that creates the problem, but rather it's in coupling that with a creator economy where they can control and curate the public discourse beneath their videos. There's an argument to be made that they always had the power to deactivate likes and dislikes and comments, but typically when you see that choice has been made, it's an immediate red flag for viewers. With the current system, creators have full ability to steer viewers astray with no recourse, save for what would typically be a misuse of the report function. So it's my opinion that dislikes should stay. But if you want to better control what effect bad actors can have on it, make dislikes inactive until a viewer logs 20 to 30% of video watch time, or 5 minutes if a video is rather long. I understand that that still has flaws and you don't always need that much time, but it's better than the all or nothing model we have now.
It's
Friday. But that's where I'm at with that one right now. But for now, let's divert our attention to the rumored Chrono remake. Or remaster, or whatever it's supposed to be now. The rumor mill's kind of flying all over the place. On one of the last Tark Talks I done, we discussed the NVIDIA leak, which seemed to indicate hundreds of upcoming new games, re-releases, and remakes. Looking over the entire game list, it all seemed almost too good to be true. Honestly, there was so much in there, it made it really hard to believe. But when I covered this, I singled out 2 games in the list, one of which was Chrono. Chrono was actually the one I doubted the most, thinking that even for as good and beloved as the game is, Square would definitely be looking into some of their more successful IPs from that era for a remake treatment first. Yet the rumor seems to only be getting bolstered in the past couple weeks, with a vocalist named Ava claiming they have written and recorded an Irish language theme song for the to-be-announced game from Square. Following this, a crossover between mobile RPG Another Eden and Chrono Cross was teased, then officially announced. In the announcement trailer, we see new models of the old Chrono Cross characters brought to life in a whole new style, and I'll be real, this trailer actually gave me chills. I know this isn't Chrono Cross, and I'll be honest, even though I like CC, I'm not really its biggest fan. But this trailer hit all of the right notes and made me realize just how much potential an actual Chrono Cross remake could have. At this point, the rumored remake has not been announced, and many people are waiting on the Game Awards to see if it's going to happen. But my doubts about it are for sure waning, and my excitement for its future has significantly gone up. So,
Update. The Game Awards kind of sucked.
Alright, so sucked is maybe going a bit far, but I wouldn't be surprised if some people felt that way. Either way, Chrono Cross didn't show up there, so we can go back to playing the waiting game now or stirring up the rumor mill and talking about what next event Chrono Cross Remake or Remaster is supposed to be showing up at. Otherwise, the Game Awards 2021, there were some fun parts to the ceremony and some very much deserved wins, so let's look at that real quick. Final Fantasy XIV won the award for Best Ongoing Game, very much deserved. Nier Replicant won Best OST. I mean, it's not really a new OST this year, but I'll take it. Tales of Arise won Best RPG of the Year. I'm sure there's some room for debate on how deserving this game is, but I'm happy to see the win. Really, I just like seeing the game get recognition in the West and from our big award shows. I want to see the series get more on the map over here. Metroid Dread won Best Adventure Game, Returnal took home Best Action Game. Kena Bridge of Spirits won Best Indie and Indie Debut. I'm happy to see that as well. I enjoyed the game a fair amount. And It Takes Two won Game of the Year, which I haven't played, but I'm not gonna knock its win. The game looks really good, and I can definitely see myself getting it eventually. It was kinda nice seeing Joseph Fares return to the stage as well, as I feel like he's really in his element here. There was also some really fun game reveals along the way. Slitterhead looks interesting and impassioned enough that I'll want to keep my eye on it. Forspoken is looking a little better than it did before. Thankfully, the new trailer showed off more of the character instead of annoying and obnoxious quips like the last trailer did. Actually, like entirely too many trailers these days do. Elden Ring is of course still looking sick, and Jeff Goldblum plugged Raid Shadow Legends. But by far my biggest surprise was Alan Wake 2. In the last two console generations, there's only been 2 games I beat upwards of 5 times. Dark Souls 1 and Alan Wake. I am really excited for Alan Wake 2. But then we had some stuff I wasn't too hot on. I don't know what exactly Doke V is, but they should have got a different director for the video. Absolutely awful camera work and shot composition just sucked all the life out of this for me. It was a very boring trailer. There was a reveal for a game called Ark Raiders, which really just looks like it's ripping from Earth Defense Force. Lord of the Rings Gollum kinda looks a bit embarrassing at this point, and Star Wars Eclipse, oh boy, this one looked like it was gonna be good until the Quantic Dreams logo popped up. I mean, I've played every Quantic Dreams game so far, and I'll play this one too, but this is not the kind of gameplay experience I want from a Star Wars game. The rest of the show just really wasn't for me. Overall, it was an entertaining enough distraction if you like ads. Really, there was very little award giving going on for an award show, but I do, in fact, like the ads. That said, it was way too freaking long. I get it pays the bills, but maybe give less time to shit like Fall Guys crossovers or Fortnite ads and crap, less cut-ins from Verizon, and maybe give more time to the people accepting awards to give their speeches. This is a night about the creators and players, right? Celebrating them. Maybe let them tell their stories some more. It all reminds me of the time that James Franco wouldn't let Tommy Wiseau at the mic when he was accepting his award for the Disaster Artist. But this time it was like that was the entire show. I was ultimately really disappointed in that aspect, but it's not the end of the world.
I know a little thing or two about action and oh snap, with the plasma sword?
Now, the last story today hasn't actually reached a conclusion, so I'm including it here as more of a heads up than anything else. This has to do with Fatal Frame 5 Maiden of Black Water, a game we've talked about a little bit in the last few Tark Talks. Rather recently, we talked about Maiden of Black Water getting re-released on modern platforms and no longer being exclusive to the Wii U. And much to my disappointment when this was announced, Koei Tecmo once again refused to release a physical print of the game in English-speaking regions. Thankfully, it seemed, however, that Japanese and Asian PS4 and Nintendo Switch versions of the game would be receiving an English-language patch that, though delayed, recently released at the end of November. At least on most versions, it released. PS4 and Switch in Asia, and Switch in Japan. Curiously, the Japanese PS4 version did not receive the update, though it was heavily advertised to be getting it, and many copies were bought and sold with the expectation that it would. On the day the patch launched and reports were coming in that PS4 users were still out in the cold, PlayAsia, who sold most of these physical copies, updated the store page to remove any mention of English being included, and would later issue a response on Twitter stating that they're looking into the issue and seeking seeking answers from Sony and Koei Tecmo, and also that they have no control over what does or does not get the patch. At the current time, no answers have been given. Many people are looking to Play Asia for refunds at this point for selling it with false claims, and many directly blame them for this happening, but I can't say for certain how much blame they actually hold. It could come out in a few days that there was just issues on the back end between Koei and Sony getting the PS4 patch pushed through for the Japanese versions, but we won't know until later. As it is though, for those still out in the cold, I do think they should be refunded and have their copies swapped for Asian ones if they desire. Further, if it comes to light that Play Asia was given false information from the devs, then perhaps the cost of this should come from them and not Play Asia themselves. If Play Asia made a mistake from the beginning and sold on a promise of something that was never actually meant to be, then by all means this is on them. Time, of course, will tell, but for now, those of you who maybe bought it and haven't started it yet, keep your eyes on the situation. If you cannot natively read Japanese, you might be sitting on a pretty useless game. So just a heads up, once more, for those of you who bought it. It's a crummy situation, and you can wait for it to unfold further, but there's no guarantee it's going to change. And that's where I'm gonna leave it today. I know it's been a while again since I've done one of these, and I keep intending on doing them more often, like monthly, but frankly, there just hasn't been that much I felt was interesting enough to cover. Even the bigger events, like State of Play, landed with a pretty wet thud for me. And a lot of the bigger stories, aside from the events, are things that kind of just happened. But yeah, that's gonna be all for me today. If you guys liked the video or found it useful at all, you know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the video if you can. Links to all of my socials are in the description below, and as always, folks, thanks for watching.
Just a quick update here at the end. For those of you who follow me on Twitter or Discord, you may have seen late November my cat got really sick. For a little while I actually thought she wasn't going to make it, but $2,100 worth of vet bills later, a lot of lost sleep and a lot of stress, and she's pretty much back to her old self. Okay, yeah, you got my hand. Alright. Anyway, that's the update on the cat situation. She's still here.